Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the portfolio. Again, want to thank all of you guys for your support on the channel, all of the subscribers, all of the viewers out there. Immensely appreciate the support on the channel. Today, just quickly want to talk about a bond fund. This is in response to a viewer on the channel wanting to know if there's any good bond funds that I've invested with in the past. And there is one, as you can see up on screen here. The ticker symbol is ANGL. This is a Market Vectors Fallen Angel High Yield Bond Fund. And I've done some day and swing trading with this stock in the past. I've done some dividend capture as well. If we go to the bottom, we can see exactly what this fund is investing in. As you can see there, it's a Vectors Fallen Angel High Yield Bond Fund, and it's tracking a market evaluated index of bonds that were once rated investment grade, but for whatever reason were later downgraded to sub-investment grade. So you're kind of getting a selection of bonds that are, for the most part, very safe, but they also have been downgraded, so the investment yield is a little bit higher than you would have on a traditional, very safe type of bond. You can see that in the middle here, statistics, the dividend yield isn't crazy high, but it is considered a high yield bond fund, 5.361, which pays out on a monthly basis. So this is great for dividend capture. Like I said, I've done this in the past. You can see some of that activity here. I haven't done anything with this for quite some time. You can see I kind of jumped in and out of the stock there. For whatever reason, the dividend is not showing, but I was doing a lot of dividend capture with this particular fund because, again, as you guys have probably heard me say quite a few times before, I only get into funds or stocks that I'm more than happy to hold for the longer term. And this was definitely a stock that if I couldn't necessarily get out of the stock right away, I would hold it for a little bit longer term. Has a great dividend yield there. The only problem with this stock is that the volume is very low. So for a dividend capture strategy, this can be quite risky. And there is a kind of a unique thing on the 5-year graph that I want to talk about that really kind of highlights this point. So you can see here over the last 1 day of trading, 1 week of trading as well, it's been holding its value relatively well. 3 months as well, a little bit of a dip here, going from 30.25 down to 29.72, but it's still up. Over that 3-month period, 1.85%. And for a high yield bond fund, that is very, very good because you're collecting that dividend every month and you're getting a little bit of capital appreciation as well. Over the last 1 year, tremendous growth here, 10.95%. So for a bond fund, very, very good. And over the last 5 years, you can see this very weird spike here. And this is really what I want to talk about. And one of the dangers of getting into a fund that has a very low volume. So as you can see here, the volume in the middle, 254,019. You really want to have volume that's much higher than that because the problem is the price can lag. And what can happen is if you don't use limit buy, limit sell orders, you may be thinking that you're buying at this price here, and all of a sudden you actually buy at this price, $31.49, and before you can resell that off, it all of a sudden drops down again. And you can really see that here with a blocky type of appearance here. This isn't as blocky as some of the stocks out there. Some of the stocks that have literally volume in the hundreds or single-digit thousands can have big blocks here. And really, these blocks are representing time where nobody's buying or selling the stock because of the price points. And the stock can dramatically jump up and down, and it's very hard to get in and out of a stock very quickly. So that's why I always put in limit buy, limit sell orders on stocks like this, because you never know exactly what price you're going to buy it or sell it off if you're not maintaining best practices by doing that. A lot of times, if there's a stock that has very good volume and I more or less know the price of the stock, I'll put it on market order just to save a few seconds there. Probably not a great way of doing that, but for a stock like this, you definitely want to be using limit buy, limit sell orders because again here, if you go on to another site where you can kind of tease out some of this detail, this only happened over a 1 day period here. So it went from 20 up to 31.49, back to 20 in 1 day here. Not quite sure what is going on here, but that's one of the dangers of a stock that has a little bit lower volume. It's very unpredictable with the price, so you always want to put in that limit buy, limit sell order to make sure you get the price exactly how you want it. So this is a great bond fund. Again, I've used this in the past. I've had this part of the portfolio in the initial period when I first started the portfolio for quite some time. I think I had it for about 6 months or so. It was a great dividend stock. Decided to sell off. Wasn't quite sure how bond funds work in an environment of increasing interest rates. But it looks like this has not had any effect. In fact, it's up As you can see here over the last 1 year, 11%. So the overall stock market is up a little bit more than that, but still for a bond fund, it's relatively safe. Again, investment grade bonds that were later downgraded to sub-investment class bonds, as you can see again on the bottom there. But very, very reasonable dividend yield for the risk that you're taking with this stock. And the risk I don't think is that great. Again, there's always risk when you invest on the stock market, and really the more risk that you're willing to take, the more reward you can potentially earn is kind of the philosophy behind investing. If you're one of the first ones to jump into a stock, like for example Tesla, there's been a lot of discussion about Tesla. A lot of you guys are waiting for it to become a solid company, but by the time that happens, the stock price is going to trend up to a point where you're not going to make a very big gain on the stock, and after that, the stock won't move quite that dramatically. A lot of blue chip stocks kind of fall into that category. You can jump into the stock; they're relatively safe stocks, but they're not going to have 100% increase or decrease over a year time span. Even GE, which has been doing very, very badly over the last 10 years or so, the stock price has now only been coming down. So blue chips, relatively safe. The stock doesn't really move that well or that vigorously, either up or down. Even GE, it took 10 years of bad practices before that stock started trending down, and only started trending down recently over the last few months or so. With Tesla, you may have already missed the boat on that stock. So the whole point of this discussion is risk equals reward. The more risk you're willing to take, the more reward. And this is a little bit more risky than a traditional bond fund. Again, it's a fallen angels fund, which has, again, investment grade bonds that were downgraded to sub-investment class. So a little bit more risk, but the dividend yield is a little bit higher as well. So not to make the video too long here, again, ANGL, Market Vectors, Fallen Angel, High Yield Bond Fund, a great bond fund. In my opinion, I've used this in my portfolio. I'm not recommending anybody get into the stock, but a very good stock that I've used, that I've done some dividend capture with, and has been holding its own of recent. So again, ANGL here, Market Vectors, Fallen Angel, High Yield Bond Fund. Let me know if you guys think this is a good investment or not, if you guys have jumped into it or not. I'm thinking about maybe putting a little bit more money back into it, just to kind of experiment with it a little bit more and use it as part of my dividend capture strategy. As you guys know, I like doing at least a little bit of the portfolio capital with from a month-to-month basis. So yeah, kind of with that, I'll end the video. As always, if you guys enjoy my videos, feel free to like, share, and